this finally an affordable way to make espresso at home or on the go? These two newly launched products are from Staresso. This is a portable espresso maker and this is their portable electric grinder. I'm gonna cover the basics, then the specs, and put these through the ringer to see if they are in fact worth your money. Also, doesn't this look like a spaceship of some kind? Little disclaimer, Staresso did contact me to send me this product for review. I'm not getting paid for the review. They have no say in the review. They don't even know when I'm going to post it. It's just going to go up one day. That being said, I do have an affiliate link with a discount code for viewers of my channel. So if you do consider buying this, especially if the review helps you, please do purchase with that link. It costs nothing for you and helps to support this channel so I can keep buying new equipment. Like currently, I'm filming on a brand new camera and brand new lens that I finally got to upgrade. So thank you. Some general notes on these two products. They're not super lightweight. They are a bit heavy, but not uncomfortably so. But there's a good reason for that. These are really well built. They're sturdy. There's a lot of metal, and when there is plastic, it's used sparingly, and it's heavy duty plastic, all food grade safe. So we are gonna start with the Discovery 2 grinder. This is their second grinder. It is an electric version. They have a manual version. It's currently available in North America, Germany, UK, with plans to expand in other markets. In the box, it comes with this nice little brush. It's quite soft. I don't know what kind of hair it is. Then you have a stiff brush to clean other things with your grinder. And then you have a USB to USB-C cable to charge. Doesn't come with a wall charger, which is fine because to be honest, I think most of us have way too many of those from all the cell phones we've bought over the years, and a standard cell phone 5-volt charger is perfect for this. The material is a mix of stainless steel, ABS plastic, and all non-toxic. And the bottom does have this nice rubbery grip so it doesn't move along your surfaces, and also protects your surfaces if you have, you know, fancy stone countertops. The grinder has a really nice grip all throughout. It's like a hard rubber. It really makes things not slip, which I really like. At the top, there is a power button and a light indicator. USB is right there. Oh my God, I love my camera. I can finally autofocus properly. To open it, there's a little lock mechanism right there. And you just open it up like that. You can put 20 grams of beans in here, and maximum that can hold here is 30. You screw cap it, open. Over here you can adjust your grind settings. I have a pre-production model, but they told me everything is the same on this. The only difference is that they shifted the numbers over from 0 to 11 instead of 1 to 12. Oh no, I'm making a mess. This happens pretty much in every one of my coffee reviews. And then you have the bean cup catcher. It screws in very nicely. At first I didn't really like that it was a screw cap, but I actually do prefer that because I have another grinder, the Arco grinder, and it's magnetic. And there's been a couple of instances, maybe 2 to 3 times, where the bottom catch cup, I would accidentally knock it and then it would spill all of my ground coffees on the ground and make a massive, massive mess. So I prefer this setup. This is 181 inches high and 2.36 inches in diameter, and it weighs 1.49 pounds, almost 1.5 pounds, so it's not the lightest thing. When it comes to battery life, this takes 1.5 hours to charge. It's like 800 milliamps battery. Each charge you can use up to 25. They said 20 to 25. Of course, it varies on your grind setting, how long it'll take to grind, if you're doing like espresso to mocha or French press even. They told me that it would last 3 years, and then I asked them to specify what they meant by that. I think they were being very, very honest with me. It'll still work after 3 years. They were just saying that after 3 years, the battery may decline. It probably won't go up to 25 charges after a while. That's honestly probably very typical of most electronic devices. They're just not as forthcoming. As of right now, there's no way to replace the battery. It does come with a 1-year warranty. In terms of the grinder settings, it claims that it can make espresso to mocha pot. Each click setting adjustment is 40 microns. That's a lot. The Espresso espresso hand grinder is 25 microns per click. One of the grinders I looked at. My Weber Workshop's key is 5 microns. Now, obviously the Weber Workshop's key compared to this grinder is not even comparable. They're like, the price difference between them is, I don't know, 10 to 15 times the price difference. So I'm not trying to compare those two. I'm just showing you that what the differences are. Average human hair is about 50 microns. Is this gonna work for espresso? We're gonna get to that. I'm just giving you all the specs for now. It's pretty good burr. It's 38 millimeters, which is very typical of a portable size or budget-friendly espresso grinder. In terms of taste, I do find it does have more texture than my Weber Workshop's Key, but not too much. Like, there's still quite a bit of clarity compared to my Sette 270. This grinds really fast. It's pretty quiet. It does have a little bit of a not so fun sound, but not in any irritating way, not like running your fingers down a chalkboard. For espresso, it ground in about 1.5 minutes. And then for pour over, it ground in about 30 seconds-ish. What I love about this grinder is that it auto stops when it's done. When it doesn't detect coffee for 6 seconds, it will stop. So I can just set it and forget it. I feel like that also conserves battery power, but also if you're one of those people that just kind of forgets and walks away, well, that solves that. The retention was about 0.1 grams with a caveat. So actually it could be even less. All this material in here, all of this is anti-static. And I noticed it when I used light roasts the first time using this grinder. The coffee grounds wasn't sticking on it as much. It is in fact an anti-static coating, and it works really well for light roasts, but light roasts don't work that well for this grinder, for espresso anyway. And maybe depending on your taste, maybe it'll be fine for pour over. I just find that you need way more minute control for light roast. So with medium to dark roast, which is what they recommend to use with this and what I found worked better, and there was a lot of grounds that would get stuck all around here and then all around the walls of the bottom catch cup. So after it finished grinding, all I would do is just a light tap like that to dislodge everything, open it up, and then put this in my portafilter. The amount of static that you're going to get will depend on multiple factors. The humidity level, where you live, or rather in your home. The coffee beans themselves, if they're light roast or dark roast, are they dense or not dense, etc. Either way, tapping it fixes everything, and it's very easy. It's just part of the routine. They claim that this can work for espresso. I don't find that this works well for espresso. I used it both with their coffee machine and my Breville dual boiler, which are in very different categories. I just wasn't never fully satisfied with the grind, and it's not that it's a bad grinder, but 40 microns between click settings, it's a lot. And I think that's kind of the problem with a lot of these grinders is if they go too minute, then it can take forever to swap between grind settings to go from espresso all the way to French press. You'll be clicking and turning forever versus, you know, finding a middle ground. So they, I guess, tried to find a middle ground. And if you're going for anything like AeroPress and up, I think that this works really well. If you're doing espresso and even their own, I don't find it works that well. This is grind setting 8. They recommend in their manual 8 to 13 for the grind setting for espresso. And on my photo, you can see that the grind setting for 8 like that you'll be getting on your machine, not my pre-production unit, it's still a little bit too big. What I have for my espresso grind, all the way on the right, that's the Weber Workshop's Key. So I went down to 7 and then 6. So that's another 80 microns less. It wasn't able to get as fine. I don't want to say it's pour over, but it's not quite espresso. And then I went with the darker roast, and on the left is the Staresso Discovery 2 grinder at grind setting 4. The manual recommends not going smaller than 4, and on the right, the Key, and they're almost the same grind size, although the Staresso is a tiny bit coarser still, and this is at its finest grind setting. Now the Staresso Mirage SP300 Plus. I actually don't really know what name they settled on with this one because I've seen it named a couple of ways, but if you have one of those words in there, Mirage or Plus, and it looks like this, you're probably on the same product that I'm gonna be talking about. This is an updated version of their SP300. There's less plastic, it's a better pump, and it's better constructed overall. Now what's included in this? Pressurized portafilter basket, 53 millimeters, double dose. It's a dosing funnel. They said that it's included with every order, even though they didn't specify that on the website, which to me is like, it's good marketing. That really should be on the website. So hopefully that is actually, in fact, what you will be getting. And I do really like this dosing funnel. It's got a good enough amount of magnets. It's strong, but like if you do the upside down test, it falls off, so don't do that. It sits on the outside, so you won't get a weird ring after you remove the dosing funnel. And it's really well built. I like this. And I like that it's included because you will need this. The coffee will spill over and outside of the basket if you don't have a dosing funnel there. And also it helps to keep everything contained while you do some WDT, which is probably going to be necessary. Otherwise the coffee bed is likely going to be uneven. Then you get a little dosing cup, which I don't, it's, you know, whatever. You can't double use it as a tamper because the logo is embedded in there. Then you get the same hard brush for cleaning tight spots if you need to. They also sell a tamper for about 20 bucks. I don't love the tamper because it's not the tightest fit. There's a little bit of, you know, leeway there, you can see. And then you get this little baggie. And the bag is nice and soft and velvety. For just a few dollars more, you can get a unpressurized basket double dose, which I highly suggest that you get. It's just a few dollars. It's built well enough. If you really want espresso with this and really want better taste with this, go with this. I didn't even bother with this in my tests, to be honest. It's also just like more cleaning because of this mesh and all this other stuff. And there's plastic here. If you use this, there's actually not really any plastic that's touching directly anyway. So that's also another bonus. I really do like that these two baskets are also 53 millimeters. You could find lots and lots of accessories for, so that is super. The tamper in here, also a little bit of a loose fit, looser than I would have liked. Now, the one thing that isn't included that I think you absolutely need is a WDT. I have a Normcore V3, I think, that comes with a stand, magnetic. It's got multiple needles. You can configure it anyhow you want. I will link it in the description down below. So in transportation mode, the pump is pushed in and you have it like this. And then when you're ready to deploy your espresso machine, satisfying click, rubber feet, really great. Really sturdy. That's something that I like with this because a lot of portable espresso machines like the Wakako tend to not have that. Although aftermarket, you can get tons of things for it. You can get a stand if you want. But out of the box, included with it, this comes like this. But it also means that it's going to be a little heavier and a little bit bigger than the Wakako. This can reach 15 to 20 bar pressure. The only thing is that, of course, you can't see what pressure you're putting. So the precision or the lack of can make things difficult, but that's not novel to this particular machine. That's all of these portable espresso machines that don't have a gauge. When we open this up, you have this part of the pump. You twist it and then you can start pumping. And then over here you have some indicator lines. The water capacity is 180 mils. You can make a ristretto all the way to a lungo. I don't know how you pronounce that. In terms of dimensions and weight, the max capacity that can brew is 18 to 22 grams, so pretty standard double basket size. They said it's a barista grade extraction, 22% gold extraction rate to achieve optimal flavor of about 20%, and then it says about 20%, so I don't know. The Staresso specialty coffee maker uses segmented hydraulic extraction with 15 to 20 bar pressure, ensuring a rich, professional quality espresso. On their website is incredible. Like, it looks so good. I didn't get that even when I paired this with my Weber Workshop's key, which is top tier grinder. This is really solid. When I'm pumping, it doesn't move that much. It's very well built. It feels sturdy, feels nice to last. Like, this has a nice rubberized finished texture. We're gonna talk about the different parts of this while explaining how to extract and brew. So of course you open up, you put it in ready mode, you engage the pump. In here you have the water chamber. You can preheat the chamber, but I find that a little bit cumbersome to do because the water will just flow right through. Getting the water to go the entire way, it's just the whole thing. I instead opted to put in boiling water, anticipating that it would cool when touching the chamber, and go down to a reasonable brew temp. Of course, there's a lack of temperature control and stability with a portable device like this, so there are some concessions to be made. And then you put your coffee, and then you tamp it. Then put your shower screen in and make sure it is the correct orientation. And then when you brew, it's about 1 pump per second. You will start feeling it. You don't know what the pressure is that's building up inside. And generally, I would say about 10 to 12 pumps is when I start to see first drops. And then I stopped. That was my pre-infusion for like 10 seconds. You experiment, see what works for you. This base is not wide enough for a coffee scale. Not my coffee scales anyway, which is the MHW3 Bomber. I have a full review. I will link that in the description. Even their smaller version, the Mini, doesn't fit in here. But Staresso does sell for $49 another stand that's bigger, meant for more permanent status, nice wood base. The pump, I really like it. It's nice. It's very easy to use. Instead of having a sideways pump where your thumb is getting the most insane workout, this is very intuitive. It's very easy because you're going up to down. Unless you get the stand with the scale, the amount of volume that you're gonna get out is gonna be very imprecise because you're gonna go by water level and will vary depending on a multitude of factors. So it's approximate. But if you go for that stand I was talking about, you could be a bit more precise. There's still a couple of drops that come out after. So if you take your cup out, bring this directly to the sink or put another cup underneath or make a mess on your counter and clean it up after. Whatever works for you. Drink your coffee, doesn't take very long for it to cool. And then the cleanup is so easy. All the parts come apart very quickly. There's not very much to do in terms of cleaning. It's not more than my semi-auto test results, which is, I think, what everybody wants to know. I did Discovery 2 grinder with Staresso. I did Discovery 2 grinder with Breville Dual Boiler. I did Staresso with Weber Workshops just to also compare with flavor notes of the coffee I was drinking. I did the Weber Workshops key with the Breville Dual Boiler. And for the purposes of the test, I undid the Slayer mod, set the pre-infusion to the default, which is good for medium to dark roast. So the 7 seconds pre-infusion at 60%. I believe that's what it is. Can these two make espresso? Together, honestly, no, I don't think so. Maybe if you're not picky and you go for a darker roast with the pressurized basket, yeah, actually it could. It has 40 microns between each click. So for espresso, making the adjustments is not so great. The Discovery 2 grinder with the Staresso Plus espresso machine, it was a little flat. Didn't taste terrible. It's drinkable, but not very interesting or strong in flavor. I found it sour at times too, but that could just be because I couldn't quite get the water temperature right. When I used the Discovery 2 grinder with the Breville Dual Boiler, there was some crema. I found that the shot ran a little bit fast, but it was still missing some complexity. The Weber Workshops key grinder with the Staresso had some crema, visually looked pretty decent, not amazing. Staresso with the Discovery 2 grinder versus using the Weber Workshops key, I found that the flavor wasn't as complex and it was a little bit more sour as well than when I brewed with the Weber Workshops key direct with the Breville Dual Boiler. With the Weber Workshops key and the Breville Dual Boiler, I found the flavor to be complex, flavorful, and especially consistent. The thing is with this, you're never going to be able to compare it to a Breville Dual Boiler. That is an unfair comparison. There's a lot of factors that you can't control for with this, the brew temperature. Pump is human, it's you, and that's going to be inconsistent as well. You don't see the pressure. It can brew pretty good espresso. Actually, when you use this with the Weber Workshops key, it does a pretty good job. It's still not as flavorful and complex as with my Weber Workshops key, but that was the best combo I found. So if you want to have espresso on the go or at home even, I would say that this machine is pretty good. And then just get a really good capable grinder. I'll link a couple in the description down below. That's a pretty winning combo. I mean, this with the Weber Workshops key was pretty decent. And I'm not a straight espresso professional drinker. It makes decent espresso. especially if you're going for the medium dark roast. Will it replace your semi-auto? No. It's gonna be better than your super auto, and it's gonna be better than your Nespresso. Be somewhere in between the Nespresso and super auto and a proper semi-auto machine. I've actually seen a video online from a company in Thailand. I'll link it in the description for you. I don't know if you can buy that in North America or elsewhere in the world. They had some sort of mod that you could buy that included a pressure gauge as well as a 58mm portafilter, and that looked incredible. The shots they were getting from that were incredible. Staresso should talk to that company and manufacture it with them. That would make this machine super, super capable, and depending on how much that mod is, it would end up being cheaper than buying a flare, but quite comparable to a flare. You still wouldn't have control over the water temperature. Post extraction, I always noticed a little divot in the center. Would I recommend these machines? I would say for the espresso maker, yes. Do you know the limitations of the product? I mean, when you buy a product that's portable and budget friendly, you're going to make compromises somewhere. So as long as you know where the compromises are and you're okay with them, then yeah, this could be a great espresso machine. The light roast, even with the Weber Workshops key, it was struggling a little bit, and I would just say that it's better for a more classic taste profile. More medium to dark roast, pretty budget friendly considering it's an espresso maker. The Discovery 2 grinder, I would not suggest for espresso. And if you were to pair it with the Staresso, I would only suggest it if you use the pressurized basket, because you can grind coarser, and because of this little mechanism, it's doing the pressure for you. So there's a lot more leeway. I highly suggest you buy the unpressurized double basket. That's like a no-brainer for me. The Discovery 2 grinder isn't bad though. It's just not, I find, capable enough for espresso and getting the flavors that I want out of my coffee. But I did use this for my Vietnamese coffee video, and I do intend to use this for pour over and all sorts of other coffees that are just a little bit beyond basically AeroPress grind setting and up. You want something portable on the go. These are excellent options to look at. I will link everything in the description. Look, it's got a sturdy base. It's a fraction of the price of other machines like the Flare. If I go to the cottage with my family for a week or with friends, and I plan to, oh my God, I'm gonna have a suitcase of different coffee gear. But I plan to bring these. I plan to bring my AeroPress or pour overs. So I will be using these products. But now I would love to hear from you. If you have these products, what are your insights? Do they match or differ from mine? Do you want to add something? I've used this Discovery 2 grinder for Vietnamese coffee. You can check that video out right here. And also another video that might interest you, this one right here. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.